Hi everyone, this is Corinne from the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to sign on, or a couple more seconds to sign on. But if you're here for the Businesses for the Bay, Chesapeake Bay Program Engaged Communities webinar, you've come to the correct place. Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Corinne Stevens, and I'm the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay's Business Partnerships Manager. I would like to welcome everyone to today's Lunch and Learn webinar. Our webinar is hosted by the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay's Businesses for the Bay Membership Association, our B4B program sponsors, and the Chesapeake Bay Program. The Businesses for the Bay Membership Association, or B4B, helps businesses create and succeed at environmental initiatives that help our local rivers and streams and ecosystems, while getting recognized for their voluntary initiatives by the trusted Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. This webinar is designed for both the B4B member looking for some new project ideas, as well as folks who are not part of the Businesses for the Bay program yet. As any businesses in the Chesapeake Bay watershed can get recognized for taking the actions described today through Businesses for the Bay. So a little housekeeping. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that your computers should already be on mute. If you have questions throughout the webinar, please type them into the chat box in the chat field. You can open the presentation as a full screen using the little icon on the top right of the presentation slide. It looks like a square with arrows coming out of it. So if you click that, it'll make the screen bigger. The presentation will last approximately 45 minutes, and then we'll answer your questions in the last 10 minutes. So that's where we're going to get your questions out of that chat box. After the webinar, you will receive a survey via email. Your response will be helpful to help us guide future B4B webinar opportunities, as well as give us useful feedback from today's webinar. We really appreciate you taking the time to complete it. We are recording this webinar right now, and we'll post it on the Businesses for the Bay website later this week. So, as you know, being a good neighbor is crucial to succeeding as a business. So is taking care of your employees. So today, in our fourth of the 5 webinars in the Chesapeake Bay Program and B4B webinar series, we'll learn how businesses can help the environment, increase employee morale, and make a difference in the community. With that, I would like to introduce you to Caitlin. She's the Communications and Outreach Specialist for the Chesapeake Bay Program. Caitlin works to increase collaboration and involvement both internally and externally for the restoration and vitality of the watershed as a whole. In addition to her work with the Bay Program, Caitlin's a longtime data specialist for a botanist and consulting forest repair, working to implement best management practices and catalog plants and pollinators throughout the U.S. Take it away, Caitlin.
All right, thank you, Corinne. So today we are in the fourth of our 5 webinars that we're doing on the 5 themes of action for businesses for the Bay, which are the same 5 themes of the Watershed Agreement, which is the guiding document for the Chesapeake Bay Program. So we've done water quality, abundant life, climate change, and today we're going to look into how to tie some of those together and put that knowledge into practice with engaged communities. So if you see the picture here, I actually love this one. This is a cleanup that's taking place at a creek in Annapolis, Maryland. And I really like this picture because of all the faces. You've got that disgusted but determined face, a happy smile, and everyone's still doing what they need to. The engaged communities where you get that real. And engaged communities is the action that most of our businesses for the Bay members choose to take on, whether it's engagement with your own staff or engagement directly with the community at large. In fact, I could probably say nothing in this webinar and just let everyone who signed in talk about their successful engagement practices, and we'd fill the whole hour. But we're going to go ahead and go through some of those actions and talking about their impact, and some of the others that other member businesses are doing might spark some new ideas for other businesses to get involved in their own communities. So here with us today we have Rachel, who's the Director of Communications for the Bay Program, Corinne with Businesses for the Bay, and Ted Wolf, who's our expert on Project Clean Stream. They're going to be hands-on throughout the webinar and can answer questions in the chat box. And you might be able to hear a couple of us in the room are getting over colds. So they might also jump in if that becomes an issue as we're going through the presentation. So I do apologize for that. We're going to dive into ways to put engaged community activities in place in your business and your community. But first, we're going to walk through our 2 programs, the Chesapeake Bay Program and Businesses for the Bay, and we'll talk about how they're connected. Unless otherwise noted in the presentation, business highlight slide photos are supplied by the member page of Businesses for the Bay. So they're photos that you've sent to Corinne to, highlight what you're doing and how you're getting engaged. And all other photos are Chesapeake Bay Program. All right, so we'll dive right in. So Businesses for the Bay. That's the one that most of you are familiar with. Businesses for the Bay helps create staying power in your employees who value that sense of place in the community, because you learn how to build up your business and improve your success there while also helping the natural environment that you live in. Businesses can make their voices heard in the B4B network and throughout the community, and Businesses for the Bay helps you tap into a ready-made network of other businesses that span multiple disciplines. So you're able to share with each other and make inroads in industries you would otherwise not be connected with. You'll see on this topic how Businesses for the Bay is connected. You enhance your own environmental goals. You're going to engage your employees and yourselves who live, work, and play in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, and connect to your local community. And that's what we're going to dive into today, is how to create more of those connections and get involved with the community at large. So Businesses for the Bay encourages businesses within the watershed to take voluntary and measurable actions to support protection and restoration of the Bay, help the public understand the valuable role of the business community in sustaining the health of the Chesapeake Bay and its watershed. We'll talk a bit about that watershed and why it's so important to have this program. So the Chesapeake Bay watershed is the largest estuary in the United States. It starts all the way up in New York and goes all the way down to Virginia. Because the watershed is basically, if rain falls somewhere and it eventually makes its way to the bay, then that piece of land is part of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Like water falling into a sink and it goes down into that drain. Everything makes its way to the Chesapeake Bay. It stretches over 64,000 square miles. It has more than 100,000 streams, creeks, rivers, other tributaries. It's got 18 million people that live here, and it has the largest land to water ratio of any coastal body in the world. So in short, it's a really intricate and fascinating system. And this is why our actions on the land have such a big impact on the bay's health, whether it's through home, work, recreation, vacation, your own employees, your clients, your customers, your associates, the people you run into on the street. Every individual with whom a watershed business comes in contact has a significant stake in the health and beauty of our watershed. And one of the ways that we can have an effect is through being a part of Businesses for the Bay. You don't have to be a business to be connected to Businesses for the Bay. There are a couple ways to get involved. So you can be a member, which any size business is eligible, whether you've got multiple campuses and huge tracts of land, or you're a tiny little two-man operation and working out of an apartment. Any size business is eligible and can commit to actions. Sponsors are those who may not be ready to jump into actions, but they can monetarily support business membership associations. Or you can be a networking partner, which is the Chesapeake Bay Program. So that would be government and nonprofit groups that can participate in events and help raise awareness. So even though we're not a business, all of those organizations really appreciate the immense impact that businesses have on the watershed and the watershed economy. So let's talk through some of those voluntary and measurable actions and how they connect. So there are 5 themes of action for Businesses for the Bay. They're also the same 5 themes of the watershed agreement. That's clean water, abundant life, conserved lands, climate change, and engaged communities. And all of those organizations and work groups and action teams and non-government organizations and nonprofits and businesses, it can all seem really confusing with the many different rules and efforts and actions that happen in the watershed. It can all seem overwhelming, but it actually ties together a lot more than it seems. The 5 themes of action for Businesses for the Bay are the same 5 themes of the watershed agreement. So the things that businesses do to take action in Businesses for the Bay are furthering those efforts of the Chesapeake Bay Program Partnership and all the other organizations and citizens that are working to improve the environment. All right, that improvement is driven through the actions that people take to improve the environment and the economy through those 5 themes. So we're about to go through some of those actions, and we're going to talk about engaged communities. Being a good neighbor is crucial to succeeding as a business, and it all makes for a better world. So whether you're implementing volunteer days, helping create public access to a waterway or a nature trail for your community and your employees to use, engaging in those green efforts and spending time out in nature is going to improve your relationship with the community and also improve the physical and emotional health and morale of your own employees. So we're going to walk through some ways that you and your fellow businesses can help the environment and make a difference in the community. So engaged communities, that theme of the watershed agreement, involves a couple different areas. That's citizen stewardship, local leadership, public access, environmental literacy, and diversity. And it can come about in a lot of different ways. So this picture we're looking at here is actually a canoe regatta that takes place in New York. And it's a 70-mile canoe race, usually happens on Memorial Day, and goes through the waterways in New York. And it can be a great way to get involved with the community and to see part of that natural world. So say you were to create a team of your own employees that gets out there and talks to people on a day like this, even goes out in the canoes. You're building community, you're helping your employees bond, you're improving your health, and you give everyone an opportunity to see the natural world that they live in and your business's place in that natural world. A lot of different ways to connect and get involved with your community at large. And when we engage with more people across the region, our collective efforts and the reach of your business extends further than ever before. So one action that you can take is to create and install environmental educational signs. So you want them to be in highly visible areas. You want them to be interpretive and engaging so that no matter who it is, they can get something from that sign and learn from it. And you can attract a lot of different users and nature lovers by printing that sign in different languages or reducing the amount of text. And maybe sometimes the sign is not in the words. It can be in the picture. Like what we're seeing here, this is Habit of Grace. That's in Maryland, and it's showing a piece of the upper Chesapeake Bay interpretive sign. So it gives people a sense of place. And in addition to knowledge of the environment around them, you can improve public knowledge of your own business by having your logo on those signs. So community members like to know that their businesses support environmentally friendly practices and the care of the world around them. So putting up those environmental signs is going to help you to be good stewards. It's going to give your employees that sense of fulfillment and that they're making a difference in their community, and it's going to promote your business within that community. Signs should bring people in, and they should point out those sustainable steps that your team is taking, but they don't even have to be to the wide community when you first start. Signs can be on your own property, helping to educate your own employees. We're all a lot more engaged and relaxed when we know what's going on, so you can give that to your community and help your employees get involved by taking on a project like putting up engaging signs. One of our businesses for the Bay members that really takes that education to heart is Ecolistic Cleaning. They're a specialty cleaning service for house and office, and they're based in Annapolis and Baltimore, Maryland. So they educate their clients through extensive environmental explanations on their website about the green products that they use and using non-toxic chemicals and the effect that taking small steps can have on the health of the environment and the health of people. All new staff are educated about the company's sustainability initiatives as part of their onboarding process, and those well-informed employees can then educate clients about the importance of implementing conservation at home. Staff also participate in annual Earth Day events and do trash cleanups. They're committed to reducing pollution and plastic and trash and getting engaged on that simple home level and moving forward. So one of those actions that Ecolistic takes is to do community cleanups. So you can organize and host a trash cleanup. You can adopt a park and do regular cleanups. If you don't have a park near you, maybe you can adopt a road and do cleanups, or a stream if you're out in more rural areas, or you might even have a stream that goes right through the city, or if you're in an urban area. So you can do community cleanups no matter where you happen to be and get out there. That can be a little daunting, a little overwhelming to set one of those up. So what if you don't know how to get out in your community? What if you don't know how to organize a trash cleanup or set something up like that, or how to make sure that your business raises that we raise public awareness of your business at the same time that you're doing a trash cleanup? And if all of that seems far too confusing, we have something for that. You could be part of a trash cleanup, have the supplies there that you need, have your business promoted in the cleanup, and be able to use someone else's expertise. And for that, there's Ted.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Caitlin. So Caitlin's referring to our Project CleanStream program, which takes place each spring and helps coordinate thousands of cleanup events across the entire Chesapeake Bay watershed. CleanStream is a great program sponsored through the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, where we assist groups, individuals, communities, businesses, and anyone that wants to get involved in cleaning up their community to actually do so. So we provide assistance in the form of supplies like gloves and trash bags, also in the form of coordination, so finding a cleanup location, doing outreach to either your employees or your community to get the word out there, and also being present at the cleanups to kind of give a short environmental workshop and demonstration about what we're doing, why it's important, and what other steps people can take in their everyday lives to promote a clean and healthy watershed. So through Project CleanStream, we provide all of this support, and we'd be happy to work with businesses, as we already do work with many businesses across the watershed, to put on these events either for their employees, for their community, or a combination of the both.
Thanks, Ted. You can see in the picture here, we've got there are logos on those trash bags. This is a Project CleanStream cleanup that's happening. You get to know members of your neighborhood, and your employees feel more fulfilled and engaged when they get out there and they're helping their community and they're doing something that matters. So employee morale increases at the same time that you're improving goodwill with the community and getting your brand out there in a marketing event. And agronomic lawn management is another Businesses for the Bay member that does an excellent job of that. So they educate on environmental issues through written materials to their staff. They continue to take educational classes to stay up on the latest in environmentally friendly practices and best lawn care. And they educate the public at large on environmental issues through a radio show. They have a show called Ask the Expert. And actually Corinne with Businesses for the Bay was on there. She spoke about the Businesses for the Bay program and getting involved in environmental projects. So there's a lot of fun ways to get out there in the community. Now, I need to say a little something about ALM's commitment to service. So though they are a quality lawn care company, I did a little looking into their Facebook page, and service comes up far more than anything else. A great many of the public reviews for this lawn management company almost forget to mention their lawns at all. So reviewers talked about Chris and Brian know how to run a business, and the staff is as friendly and helpful as it gets. Thank you for what you do for my home and for the friendship. And there was another one that said they proactively communicate with us about our lawn. It's a great company with great customer service. Another one said their customer service on the phone along with our service tech is excellent. I appreciate their work very much. So most of the reviews don't even mention the lawn immediately. They first talk about service and how wonderful these people are in engaging with the community, then mention the excellent job they do on the lawns, and then come back to these people are incredible. They have 26 reviews on Facebook, and all of them are 5 stars. Every single one. So it does not matter in what industry you focus, whether you're a lawn care specialist, whether you're realtors, whether you're farmers, whether you do corporate management. When you focus on service and include the community, you find success. Another way you can make that happen is to create a green team. So this photo that we're looking at, this is the Alliance Green Team. And they're planting in the office garden right out front of the Annapolis location. And Corinne, who is our Business for the Bay leader, also heads up the green team for the Alliance. So Corinne, can you tell us a little bit about why, with all the other needs that are on your plate, you choose to put so much effort into a green team? Why do it?
Sure, thanks, Caitlin. So after reading all of the research and benefits of having an office green team that Caitlin's talking about today, I decided that our Alliance Annapolis office needed a green team. That's all there was to it. I figured we should walk the walk. If I'm going to be encouraging other businesses to create their own teams, we should be doing it as well. And it's just a really fun, engaging way to get folks working together in the office. We do all types of fun activities, planting native plants and weeding our front garden like you're looking at right here. We participate in community trash cleanups through Project Clean Stream. We've also greened our purchases, including catering and paper products. It's just a really fun way to get folks from all levels of our organization together and creatively brainstorming ways to better our office and our own community.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's true. Actually, I have to point out in this picture, on the right here, that is Corinne with her gloved hand there. In the blue shirt, that's Ted. I'm also a part of the green team because happy employees find meaning in their work. They're engaged. So creating a green team that focuses on community improvement for the environment creates a better neighborhood, a better environment, and more engaged and fulfilled communities. MOHAWK Industries is another Businesses for the Bay member. They are a flooring manufacturer with a commitment to their customers, but also a commitment to social responsibility and sustainable practices as part of their company's business strategy. So they have a green team that meets multiple times a year, and they provide education for their employees about conservation and waste reduction and recycling. And this picture that we're looking at here is actually that green team leader, Marty Bullens, educating the public during a community festival. They encourage visitors to visit the recycling education station. They exhibited about the story of plastic bottles being recycled into carpet, and they had a recycling-themed quiz with a chance to win prizes. So there are a lot of fun ways to get involved in the community and to do that education. Getting out there in the community not only is going to help the community, help your employees to be more engaged, to have that fulfillment, but it's also going to grow social capital. And agronomic lawn management is one group that did just that. So we showed them a bit before. I did a little more stalking on their Facebook page, and they have a really engaging Facebook feed. So that's one of the areas of social media that a lot of businesses are getting involved in. They have a Facebook page or possibly a Twitter page, but it's a new arena for businesses to jump into and connect more with the community at large and different age groups and demographics of their community. So ALM's Facebook page has gardening and local plant information. It's really engaging, it's really fun, but the engagement from the community is not really high. Most of their posts are liked less than 10 times. Some of them creep up into the teens, but there's really not a lot of engagement on them. And no disrespect to the wonderful team at ALM, but most of the posts over the last few months average 0 to 1 shares, which means people saw the post, really liked it, and wanted to extend how many people were seeing that post. This post, though, shows agronomic lawn management getting out and doing a trash cleanup in their community. So it has nothing to do with lawn care. They're there to help and give back to the community and keep the waterways clean. And that's what they said in their Facebook post. This post was liked and loved, which is the little heart. It's a new feature that Facebook offers, and it takes more effort to love a photo. You have to go through more steps. So people were really engaged with it. 73 times this post was liked and loved. It was also shared 15 times. Many of the people that were sharing or commenting on the post were not clients of ALM at the time. So having the community emotionally involved in your business is going to grow your business through positive word of mouth. And it creates happier working environments for your employees when they're out and about working in the community. Public perception, your social license to operate, can take a big toll on your employees if it's negative, or it can buoy your employees up if it's positive. So if the community feels good about you, your business is going to do better. Giving back to and being part of your community can do more for your business than a tag sale. but your prices stay the same, your employees are happier, your community has more knowledge of you and the environment itself. So your waterways, your gardens, your neighborhood streets are better off for you being there. Another way to get involved is to host a planting event. So you can organize and host a tree planting event, or go small and do plants, or focus on flowers or pollinators. There's a lot of different ways you can get involved with and choose what that green feature is going to look like. But you're going to reestablish connections with the community and improve the environment itself. This particular picture is at Spa Creek Conservancy, and I kind of love this one because she's drawing a face on a stump that was stuck into the fence. So why would a grown woman draw a whimsical smiley face on a piece of wood? It's because it makes you feel good. And getting out into the community, doing something fulfilling, and being near green things and getting involved in the environment makes you feel good. Employees that make a difference in their local world take pride in the community. They're happier people for it. So being a good neighbor and an asset to the community makes you feel fulfilled, satisfied, and a more productive person. And excited employees who are doing something positive with their work are going to share those positive experiences about your business. Land Studies Management is another Businesses for the Bay member out of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. They're a landscape architect, and they do a lot for environmental education for employees and for the public. They participate in a career panel and coach a junior Envirothon team. They donate plants and staff time to local organizations. So not only are they getting involved in the community, but they're getting their work and their expertise out there. So look for those ways where you can combine the good work that you do with your business and that involvement and improvement to the community. You can also provide environmental education in general. So you can help environmental awareness extend beyond the office. You can make that education part of a leadership training, hold lunch and learns or workshops and seminars, make volunteering possible for your employees. So consider giving a day to your employees to go out and volunteer in the community, or make it part of a leadership training where not only are they learning more about the world around them, but how to be a better leader, which is going to reflect back in the office and improve your business internally. This picture that we're looking at here, this is a vernal pool with the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center in Maryland. And a vernal pool are the shallow, ephemeral bodies of water that appear for a time in the forests, and they disappear as summer and fall roll through the calendar year. So those disappearing pools, that seem like not much, they're actually where frogs and salamanders reproduce. So they teem with life, and they're the means of our amphibian population's presence in the environment from one year to the next. And we talk about this because a lot of times it isn't lack of interest that creates lack of involvement. It's lack of awareness and lack of knowledge. So just knowing that something is out there can spark an interest that you never knew. And that's also a way for you to find projects that you want to be involved in for Businesses for the Bay. Find projects that your employees are interested in. So think outside of the box. Ask your employees, ask your green team what they'd like to tackle, what they're interested in. Use some of your local in-house community knowledge. Getting that feedback from your employees makes them feel more involved and is going to help them take ownership of a chosen project. And you might be surprised at who you meet and what you learn. At the Chesapeake Bay Program, staff have the opportunity to get involved in the RESET program, which is where staff teach environmental lessons to elementary age children at local schools. So don't be afraid to reach out to environmental groups in your area to find out ways to get involved. Use that environmental network that is the privilege of every B4B member and find out what's out there. Recycling Perks is a recycling organization based out of Virginia, so they're Businesses for the Bay member, and they choose to do that environmental education not just for employees, but they focus on the future and educating children. So they have multimedia education, they have a school carton recycling contest, and they engage the community through social media, through newspapers, through newsletters, and in-person events. You also want to make sure that the work that you're doing reflects the community that you live in. So you don't need to reinvent or start from scratch, which can be difficult to maintain and won't always be very effective. Find out what your community is already like. What are the people like? What are they passionate about? What groups already exist? What groups might still be out there, but you might need to step out of your comfort zone to find them. So find those groups that are already organized on their own and get your business, your green team, your staff involved in helping them make connections and be successful. Ecologics Group out of Parkton, Maryland is a Business for the Bay member that is an environmental strategy firm. And what's really interesting about them is, well, actually there's a lot interesting about them, but a continuing effort of Ecologics is to engage diverse groups. So they try to make sure that they're reflective of the community that they work in and they participate in their environmental programs. So they've engaged with leadership from different conservation teams and other communities to facilitate and identify opportunities for environmental education and restoration activities. They organize community cleanups, they engage with groups in their local community, and they participate in Project Clean Stream events throughout Baltimore City. So it doesn't matter if you're out in the country where everything is green, or if you're in the heart of the city in an urban environment, there are always ways to get out there, see the environment that you live in, help improve it, and build community involvement and awareness of your business at the same time. And one of the ways you can do that is to encourage time outside. So you can create a nature trail for community members and for your own employees, or create a public access point to the water. So help your staff and you to discover the beauty that's right around them. Getting outside into nature has tremendous physical, mental, and emotional health benefits. So healthy employees are better for business. Happy employees are better for business. So it makes good business sense to create opportunities for staff and management boards alike to get outside. And the bonus is that you become more environmentally aware and you want to work to make sure the beautiful outdoors stays that way. So you don't have to go far to have that kind of beauty. You can create natural experiences right on your own grounds. So native plants are better for the environment. You can put signs out if you've got native plants in your area that are going to help educate people about why they're important, why they make a difference. Or if you have invasive plants, maybe that's something you want to tackle in the future, you can put signs out about those and why we should be aware of them and what kind of difference you want to make and plans for the future. So a large portion of the watershed is privately owned. And there may be beautiful views, but we can't get down to the water. So let you and your business be a part of creating more access by doing so right where you live. And the bonus is going to be the publicity. Environmental organizations love public access, and they love seeing people get out on the water or get out in nature. So they're going to spread the news about what you're doing to encourage that time outside for your own employees and for the community at large. Get actively involved in helping the environment, and other organizations are going to be doing part of your marketing for you when they report on that story and want to share that good news. The last B4B member that we want to highlight today is Lawns and Gardens Plus. They're a landscape services contractor out of Virginia, and they do a whole lot to help their employees get outside and get involved. So they collaborate with multiple environmental organizations on projects and events. They created a pollinator garden, and they even closed their office for 2 days so that the staff could attend a Come to the Bay conference. So sorry about that. So getting your employees involved in the community and giving them that time and the opportunity to get out of doors and to make a difference in their community makes them more committed and positive employees for your own business. So what we've covered today are just some of the options available. They're meant to give you a framework, help get ideas flowing, but it's by no means exhaustive. What we're looking at here in this picture, this was an event that involved Our Deen is Green, which was a Muslim organization that worked to find a spiritual connection to the environment. They ended up working with the Chesapeake Bay Program, with the Alice Ferguson Foundation, and with a trash removal business to do a cleanup event. So you can find engagement in the unlikeliest of places. If you have an idea of something you'd like to do, you can reach out to Corinne. She'll work with you to set up a project. Think about where you can find connection to the environment and your community for your business. Think outside the box. We have one more webinar in our 5-part series that's going to be Conserved Lands. That'll be on November 6th. We hope that you all can join us for that. And if you missed any of our previous webinars, they are posted on the Businesses for the Bay website. So you can go back and watch the recordings of those presentations. If you'd like to reach out to us, see my contact information here. You can find the Chesapeake Bay Program, Chesapeake Progress, which is going to show you the data of how we're getting to all of those goals under the 5 themes. And then Bay Backpack, which is our teacher resources site. If you're going to do some of that environmental education with your community, that's a really great resource to check into to find some lesson plans and activities already prepared for you. If you'd like to get your business involved in Project Cleanstream, do one of those trash cleanups, get out there in your community, and have your business logo presented all over that. Ted's your man. This is how you can contact him right here. Or if you're interested in Businesses for the Bay, maybe you're not a member and you'd like to be, or you want to be a partner, or you just have more ideas for where to go from here on actions for the new year, contact Corinne.
Great. Thank you, Caitlin. Sorry, we've had a couple questions come in. A lot of these questions actually are going to give Caitlin a break because a lot of these questions have to do with Project Cleanstream. So I'm going to call Ted over here as well. So the first one that came through, folks want to know about money. So the supplies that you were talking about, Ted, are they free? How much do they cost?
Yes, so as a part of Project Cleanstream, we do provide supplies for free for all participants. Those supplies include things like trash bags, gloves, little first aid kits, safety vests, and signage to actually advertise your event the day of. Aside from tangible things we give out, we also provide assistance with outreach, and we can give you templates for social media posts as well as other press releases to kind of give out to your employees or the community. So we can definitely help with documentation and documents in that regard as well.
Cool. And then a follow-up to that question, somebody is interested, and this person's not the only one that asked this. We actually hear this question a lot. They want to know whether the Alliance and UTED can help them pick out a cleanup site, help them try to figure out what the best site would be for them in their region.
Yeah, definitely. So we work with businesses a lot to kind of pick the perfect site for them. And so we'd be happy to coordinate that with you. Project Cleanstream is a spring event, so that's usually when we have the majority of our events taking place, and we have a lot of time dedicated to coordination of these events. So yes, the answer in short, we're definitely happy to help you locate an event based on your parameters and what you're looking to get out of it.
Cool. And I actually just received this question from a B4B member yesterday, so it's helpful for me to have it on here too. Do your PCS events or Project Cleanstream events, do they need to be large? Someone was just asking me yesterday if he can only get 1 or 2 employees out. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's actually completely fine. So Project Cleanstream, the spectrum of the size of events runs the whole gambit. We have events everywhere as small as 2 folks just committed to cleaning up their neighborhood, all the way up to events of multiple hundreds of folks. So doesn't really matter. We like to accommodate events to incorporate any group of any size. So there are no restrictions on that.
Okay, and this is sparking one more I just got in. When can we do our cleanup? What do you suggest? I saw it looked like maybe that one landscaping company did it in the middle of the winter. So I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, so Project Cleanstream typically takes place from beginning the 1st of March, and it runs through the first week of June, and that coincides with the conclusion of Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week, which just helps get a lot more volunteers out to our events. Outside of that season, we do coordinate some events, but that's something that we would need to initiate the conversation sooner and before the season of fall, so we can kind of coordinate for that later on in the year.
Cool. And I can point out too, I know that the reason that one landscaping group did their cleanup in the winter was actually because that's their downtime for a landscaping company. So it's all about what Caitlin was talking about as far as what fits in well with your business, what fits in well with your employees. This was a great way for that particular company to get folks outside when they weren't super busy taking care of lawns because it was the dead of winter. So I think that is all the questions that have come in. Is any more popping through? Okay. So with that, we'll finish a little bit early. So we're not even that early, actually. Thank you, Caitlin, for your inspiring presentation. Many thanks to everyone on this webinar for joining us. This is a friendly reminder to please fill out your survey that you're going to receive via email this afternoon. If you don't receive an email from me today, send me an email follow-up because maybe it's in your spam filter and I'll get it to you.
There's a question.
And actually,
I'm sorry.
Possible question came through, but I'll keep talking as we pull that up. If you're a Businesses for the Bay member, please tune into our last webinar in the series in November that Caitlin mentioned. You may see yourself highlighted as an example. We thank all of our businesses for being examples today. Is there any other?
Yeah, you ready for me to read this?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
One more.
Sorry. So this question pertains to grant funding. I work for VHB, and I apologize, it's very small, so I'm having trouble reading it. And manage an invasive plant management plan for the city of Richmond. The project does not receive much municipal funding, but does get some funding from a citizen science task force comprised of nonprofit volunteers. These groups also provide over 100 volunteers that work in the city parks for the plan. My question is, does Business for the Bay program offer a grant funding program that can supplement and help sustain this ongoing work?
Gotcha. So unfortunately, we don't supply grants through Businesses for the Bay. That is actually something that we've talked about for Businesses for the Bay if we have a surplus of money to be able to offer that to partners. Something that I do, though, as a Businesses for the Bay person, I work with our networking partners often on grant applications. I've been a co-partner on a lot of their grant applications. I'll write your letters to help gain you support, show how you're working with other businesses in the community. I've done that for a lot of our networking partners, so whoever wrote that question, feel free to contact me. Maybe I can try to help you out that way and try to help you figure out if there are some grant opportunities that might fit in well that we can partner on.
And while we're on the topic of plants, I know hosting a planting event was one of the things that we covered during the presentation. If you have questions about that, if you're not even sure what we're talking about with natives versus invasives, or whether you should have flowers or edibles or pollinators or what kind of things, the Alliance has a native plant center website. We can go and you can even put in You know, we have a sunny spot and it's really dry soil, and we want plants that are only this tall, and it's going to help you find what you're looking for. Or if you'd like to host a planting event and that's still not enough, know that as a Business for the Bay member, you have access to that technical support from the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. So they're there to help you with questions about plants and getting a planting together.
Anything else coming through? Great. Okay. Well, if you come up with questions afterwards, please feel free to email any one of us. I will CC Ted and Caitlin when I write to everybody this afternoon. So with that, thank you again. Have a wonderful afternoon, and don't forget to answer your survey.